You're listening to Binging the Devil's Fruit, a One Piece manga read-through podcast where sometimes during the binge, we take a break, kick back, and put on a movie or TV special. And sometimes we even bring along friends. Hello, everybody, and welcome to, for now, what will be the final episode of Binging the Devil's Fruit Gaiden, where we discuss the last two episodes of Season 1 of the One Piece Netflix live-action show. I'm your host, John Mugiwara Jam, joined as always by my co-host, Jack Peanut.
Hey!
And my girlfriend.
Me.
You are, man, who has less patience on this channel, Austen or you? I was getting to you. Welcome, everybody, to the final episode of this season of Binge the Devil's Fruit Gaiden, which I may not just use for the live-action show. I might also use it for like some of the special manga adaptations that like other artists have done, or some other weird One Piece thing we might find. Who knows? But for now, we're going to talk about episodes 7 and 8, the last two episodes of the One Piece live-action Netflix show. Which, fun fact, I did not share this when we were recording yesterday's episode. We watched the episodes we recorded last episode and this episode together. They were the first time Austen ever watched them.
Because I'm bad with keeping up with streaming shows.
Among other things he's bad at. Anyway, let's move on to episode 7.
Damn.
Mostly the languages. We love you, Austen, even though you can be a shit sometimes.
Loves it too.
So episode 7 opens on some dolphins, the bastards of the sea.
Oh yeah, because they're surprisingly fucked up animals.
Yeah, if you watch Casually Geographic, you'll know what I'm talking about. So they're having Buggy direct them towards the Konomi Islands, but they're not getting along with them, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, considering he tried to kill them.
What are you going to do, bleed on me, he says to Zoro, and he just throws him in a bucket for that. Or he threatens to throw him overboard. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, not only are you bodiless, you will die. And then he tries to lighten the mood by singing a sea shanty. He comes up with at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there once was a girl with tangerine hair, stole my map and let me stranded somewhere. Truly a crafty, crooked young lass, but you can't deny she had a spectacular correct.
Yeah.
I love you.
And when
correct.
they tossed him in the barrel, he landed on his nose.
Yeah, he really became a barrel of laughs then.
Boo.
Yeah, Luffy's determined to find Nami and see if she's okay.
And
on the other hand,
they thinks that she doesn't need to be rescued. It's like, nah, she knows what she's about. She wears her allegiance on her sleeve, quite literally, in fact.
Or like under her sleeve, but whatever.
And it's like,
What's the difference?
It's like, and Luffy's like, well, whatever choice she makes, I want to hear it directly from her herself. And then, well, I guess they arrive pretty quickly, or we just happen to be starting this episode on the day they arrive, and they've arrived at the Konomi Islands.
Konomi.
Which was weird because it was called Kokoyashi. And we get Nami's personalized title screen.
Anyone else figured out about how that pirate had lady lips and our little babu Nami?
Oh, it's Nami and someone else's children running through a field of tangerines. It's her sister Nojiko, by the way.
Yeah.
Who's ready for some fucking heartbreak? Because I'm not, but I'm here anyway.
Oh no!
This scene fucked me up. When I was when I first read the One Piece manga, and it also didn't help that when Austen, you and I covered the scene in Binge the Devil's Fruit, my father died a couple days afterwards.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that.
So a little inside baseball for you, not to set the mood or anything, but yes, Nami is having a flashback to her time with this woman named Belmare. But she was disassociating during a game of poker that she's playing with the other fishermen at Arlong Park, which, wow, they actually made it like an amusement park. They took the word literally, actually.
Yeah, like I can see it like a kind of a shooting gallery game. And
I mean, to be fair, like after having played as much One Piece Grand Battle Rush as I have played, the stage music for the Arlong Park stage is like really, really jaunty and party-like, basically. So I guess it fits.
Yeah, and she's going all in the poker.
But the other fisherman
And-
thinks that she cheated. Well, he goes in with a straight 10 high, which a 10 high, pff, damn.
Queen's-
She beat him with a queen's full. Fuck. But yeah, and then the fisherman accuses her of cheating, and then she threatens him with a knife. She's like, "We don't lie about money on this crew." To your face, anyway, because it turns out she was lying. But she ain't gonna tell him that. And then Nami explores her old room, which had chains in it. It's her old cartography room where she drew maps for Arlong.
Yeah, like Jesus had his dog. Like, I don't remember chains in the manga. What the chains in the manga?
You probably didn't see them outright, but like it's not out of character. Also, Nami weirdly had freckles as a kid.
And
Yeah, it's going back to the flashback where Nami apparently is hiding that she has a cartography book from Belmere,
possibly because he stole it.
which wouldn't surprise anyone in the freaking slightest.
Yeah, because he can't resist a 5-finger discount.
Well, the real reason is because Belmere and her sister and her are very, very poor. They live outside of the town, so they obviously couldn't afford housing inside. So she resorted to stealing because she wanted it but didn't have any money. Like, well, that's no. She's like, I didn't hurt anybody by doing that. You hurt the people you stole from. You hurt their business. Like, they're probably a small business.
Mm-hmm.
And she bitches about the tangerines that she has to eat all the day. Hates being poor, and then insists they're not a real family, which hints. And then she gets slapped in the face for that.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is like she's never hit her before. Then Nami runs off, of course.
Nami runs off because of that.
And then through Belmere talking to Nami, that she tells her the story about how she found them. Belmere was a Marine that was set to die from a battle that her basically entire battalion lost, but then she found Nami and Nojiko as small toddlers and rescued them, and saw she was ready to accept her fate at the end of that fight, but upon finding Nami and Nojiko hiding under the wreckage, she found a reason to live again, so she decided to raise them as her own daughters.
Was he? Let's see. What's that thing for the manga? Was he a Marine or?
Was Belmere a Marine? Yes, okay. Belmere was a Marine. And of course, Arlong has to ruin everything again.
Mm-hmm.
By taunting.
He's a dick.
He's the dick of the Dickman Pirates.
Sure.
And he boasts about, is like, thanks to you, I know where every Marine stronghold is from here to the Goa Kingdom. Love that name drop for things that will come to pass in the future. Like, actually, I think this episode has a lot of those. And he's just happy to have Nami back because he thought that her running out to scour the map of the Grand Line meant that he lost her forever.
But no, because they have a deal.
Where if Nami saves up enough money, a specific amount, mind you, he will sell the town that he's taken over back to Nami and give them their freedom. And he's like, I'm a fisherman of my word. Because it doesn't matter to me, because soon I'll rule all over the East Blue. I won't even need Kokoyashi Village. Well, Coco Village they call it because that's what it was called in the dub, but it's Kokoyashi in the manga. And then Nami's like, the Marines will stop. He's like, the Marines can be bought and sold just like American politicians. Or politicians in general.
No, clap, clap, clap. And oh yeah, this is when Garp and his men arrive at Baratier, where they insist on having a word.
You said it right, you sack of shit!
Oh my god! Oh my god! I love this. So
don't fuck it up again.
Okay, quick reminder. What's it called again? Baratier.
You're just doing this to piss me off now.
What else is new?
And the booze, a little bit to piss you off.
John, what else is new?
So Zeph comes out to greet Garp, and Garp inquires about where if Luffy's been here, and he goes, Luffy, what name so? Never heard of him. You want to have a steak and a beer? Garp actually remembers Zeph from his pirate days. It's like, I've gone the straight and narrow. This restaurant's my thing now.
Oh yeah, that's when Obi and Helmeppa decided to check out the bar.
Yeah, well, first...
right. They arrive.
First, Luffy and them arrive at one of the desolated villages in Cocoa Village, where some of the houses are just upside down.
Yeah, like,
Oh. So they are.
They're like, oh, Arlong's a bad person. It's like, and Buggy's like, yeah, so what else is new? Like, come on, get me out of this bag already. I still love the line. It's like I'm tired of carrying him. I was like, no, sorry, Sanji. New guy has to carry the clown head. That's such a great out of context line. New guy carries the clown head. And then Luffy and crew arrive on the village where the apparent mayor of the town, Genzo, is collecting donations apparently for Arlong's monthly tribute. And then there's this one poor couple who asks, do we have more time? And then Nami suddenly appears like, nope, you don't have any time.
Yeah, and the villagers clearly hate her.
Including especially her sister Nojiko.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Luffy was about to confront her, but Joe stops him.
He's like, nope, just watch how this plays out.
Yeah, she even spits in the tribute basket.
Oh, I didn't see her spit in the basket. I thought she spit on the ground, but if she spit in the basket, she spit in the basket. Mm. He's like, you know what? You can give Arlong. You can give Arlong these nuts. You can tribute these nuts.
And another flashback where he returns the book.
And then she basically apologizes, like, look, Nami, if you ever need something, just let me know, and we'll work something out, okay? Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ, Genzo is like perfect. Like, he looks like a little bit younger than he's supposed to be, but God, like down to like the detail. Belmare's hair isn't like partially shaved or whatever, but like.
Oh yeah, I think he does have the pinwheel.
Kind of. We'll talk about that when we get to the end of this arc, but like there is one important thing that's kind of missing from this. But they did change it a little bit in that that scene where Nami and Belmare were talking. Yep, and then apparently when Nami was returning the book is exactly when Arlong and his crew attacked the village. And a touch that I love is that they're wearing the exact outfits they wore when they took over the town. Oh. It would have been one thing to have them wearing the outfits that they wear the whole time, but no, this is what they were wearing when they arrived. Like Kurubi had his hood up, Arlong had like the sash and like this overcoat. But we'll talk about it later. But there's a character that's a couple of characters that are actually missing, but they're not that important now, but they will be important later, which is why their presence was really missed. Yep, that's when Arlong flips the house.
Mm-hmm.
Table flip. How about, have you heard of house flip? And then that's when Genzo
gets the scars.
You want to know how I got these scars? From a fishman who just really liked hitting me with it. And Nami inspects the donation box. And it's like, you're short. It's like, yeah, you didn't hear us say that we didn't have any time to get more? Oh my God. And Nami says the coldest thing I've ever heard her say. It's like, Arlong's blood is dry. Then find more blood.
Yeah.
That's Ebenezer Scrooge levels of cold.
That's when she finds Luffy in the game followed her. And she's not happy about that one bit.
No.
Nami insists this is where she belongs and that it's a real her.
This is where you belong, being the Mr. Potter of this village. It's like, well, Arlong wanted the map and I handed it to him. That's the only reason I took it from you. Never was a part of your stupid crew to begin with. Luffy doesn't believe that at all.
Yeah, and she insists she never wants to see him again.
Take these clowns to get out. And Buggy here should have said, I resent that. But I think that would have been a bit much, I think.
Yeah, but of course Luffy doesn't quit.
Well, yeah, they go up to meet with Genzo to ask more about Nami.
Yeah, and
he inquires what they're doing. He's like, we're gonna take down Arlong for you. It's like, men twice your size went there and never came back. Good luck with that.
Yeah, you wouldn't stand a chance, yeah. And Buddy points him out a different house down the Tangerine Grove that could explain things to him.
I'm sorry, did you say Buddy pointed the different direction?
But he.
Oh, it sounded a lot like but buddy, I didn't know you had a cameo in this. Why aren't you on the picket line with the other actors?
Don't tell me you're a scab, buddy boy.
But it's like, you call me that one more time, I'll give you one.
Yeah, he could probably leave a nasty scab. And yeah, this is. Oh.
Yeah, they're told to go to Nojiko's house to confront her, but before they could knock on the door, Nojiko has one thing to say to them.
I got a shotgun.
Technically, it's a rifle.
What? Well, I had to work in your favorite running bit from the channel somehow.
Yes. Well, he keeps insisting that Nami's a thief and
she's not to be trusted. Why are you even here for her? It's like, my sister doesn't have any friends. So the sooner you realize that, the better. And then Sanji puts on the suaveness and offers, tell you what, you tell us more about her if I cook you a meal. It's like, I don't have much. It's like, you'd be surprised what I could do with very little ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you would be. He can cook up like basically a 5-star restaurant meal with basically nothing.
Yeah, and
Usopp's like, Usopp's word. I'm like, Usopp, your word's not very good. But don't even say that. Nojiko's like, all right, you better have dessert with it.
Yeah.
So Garp is chowing down while Kobe and Helmeppo look bored or in horror, depending on how he's eating. It would be really funny if, like, when we get to like the bigger banquet scenes after they finish fighting a character off, that they just eat monstrously like they do in the manga. But I think I'm hoping too much for that to happen.
Yeah, so he continues to try to question Chef, but he keeps dodging the question
by talking about
the wine. And yeah, they were confronting each other in the past, back during his pirate days.
Yeah, he's dodging the question. It kind of reminds me like I remember there was this one time my grandparents got into an argument over something really dumb. But my grandmother was like clearly upset. But then my granddad thought that the smartest thing to say in response to the argument was, "The soup's good, hon." It's like, so it's like, dude, I love my grandparents, but like complimenting the food is not what you say in an argument. So that's the vibe I got from Zeph here. It's like, it's a rare okay. Like, you're gonna dodge the question, are you? What question?
And oh my god, that one fish man with the big, it looks almost like a tumor on his head.
You might want to get that checked out. And well, yeah, Arlong Park truly is a party. It looks like Coney Island up in here, or at least how Coney Island looks in Spider-Man 2.
Can't wait to play that.
Oh yeah, that part was awesome.
I just thought of something. What if there was like a fishman who was just a blobfish? No bones, he was just a sentient blob with a sad face.
Life is pain.
Fishmen are superior. Just look at me, for example.
Well, Austen, the reason why that joke works is I'm going to tell you right now. Arlong and one other one you won't meet for a while are the only racist ones.
Oh. And this is
and then while Arlong and his crew are partying in Arlong Park, they're now visited by a corrupt Marine admiral, or as I like to revere them,
Mizumi,
the man formerly voiced by Vic Mignogna.
Oh no! I forgot he had whiskers too. Like, they got all his mouse qualities down to a T.
Yep, right down to the sliminess.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, here. So Captain Izumi, she's like, I have some concerns about the villages you've been destroying. It's like, and then Arlong literally does maybe if I slip some money, you'll forget all about that. It's like, it's getting harder to cover up your tracks, where turns out, yeah, he's been bribing this Marine for like God knows how long. And it's like, you know what? This is a party. We'll talk business inside. And then I was like, no, we bring the money.
And back at Nojiko's, his house.
It's Nami and Nojiko's house, actually. Like, it is their house.
Oh, yeah. And she is impressed by Sanji's cooking.
Yeah, that like potato pie, whatever he made, that actually looks pretty good. I think it's an actual dish he makes in the anime that I've seen. It's like a potato dish or something. And then that's when Nojiko spills the beans on what's really going on with Nami. Which fun little deviation from the manga. This isn't a big one, but Luffy's actually listening this time. Luffy falls asleep and says, "Nope, don't care." And while this is being talked about, oh yeah, who's ready for the live action adaptation of the scene that fucked me up?
No, yeah. So, yeah, this is in the past where everyone has to pay tribute. Like, every adult has to pay about twice the berries it costs for a kid to live. Otherwise, they die.
Yeah. So then Arlong eventually goes to Belmare and Nojiko and Nami's house, and then she so then Belmare grabs the nearest weapon and she tries to tell that the fisherman pirates that I got a shotgun. But then they tell her, "Bitch, you thought."
Yeah. She has to pay. She hides Nami and Nojiko to try to convince the sharks that she's the only one there, so she pays the tribute for the adult. But they couldn't help but notice there was 3 bowls set up on the table.
And I remember the original lie was like, "Oh, I'm having company over for dinner," but that's when the kids spring into action and it's like, "No, that's for us. You can't do this, Belmare. Don't no." Well, actually, they spring up after Belmare reveals that's for my children. The money's for them. So thus implying that she's willing to give herself up so that her kids can live.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
I know that. I know this scene fucked Austen up when we read it earlier this year. And then Nami and Nojiko spring into action, telling, "No, you can't do this. Why didn't you just lie?" And she's like, "I would never lie about you two being my daughters, no matter what." And then she's saying that you both deserve to live happy and full lives. And I'm sorry I couldn't do more for you, but use this opportunity to live fulfilling lives in my stead. And then the most heartbreaking line in the entire arc comes: "Nami, Nojiko, I love you." And then she gets shot down. Or if you were watching the 4Kids version, she gets sent to the dungeon while Arlong points at her.
Oh, Jesus. I forgot all about that.
And then it was followed up with like, and then I distinctly remember 4Kids Arlong went, "If you can't pay the cash, you go out with the trash."
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yes. Yes, that really happened.
Oh.
Wow.
God, what a horrible company. I'm glad they went bankrupt.
Twice.
Yeah. They were fucked ever since they lost the Pokemon license.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Yu-Gi-Oh license, and then the Ninja Turtles license, and then they were cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how can you feel bad for a company that who at one point said white is the default?
Wait, what?
What? I heard that through Chris Wolfhard. I'm not going to. I'm not going to back that up.
No.
All right, so moving on. Zoro and Luffy decide to go on the roof and talk about what just happened. And this is a really good scene. I like this one too. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think I would get it either because I firmly believed that Luffy was going to fall asleep and not pay attention to the story. But this time he did. I think that was quite a interesting change. But I think it was a good one because I think that would be a little jarring for most audiences. It's like, wait, why doesn't he want to know about what's up with her? He went to this island to find out what's going on with her. Why wouldn't he want to know? So I understand the change now that I verbalized it in my head.
Yeah, Luffy, after hearing the story, still refuses to believe that Nami is willingly serving all along. While Zoro she says they told them to leave, but Luffy points out, yeah, well, so did you. And he insists that they still has to be a reason. And while that's all going down, Nesumi is accepting his cutback from all along. But he insists that Along starts having to pay more with how active he is and how hard it is to cover up his tracks.
It's not money, it's free speech. The Supreme Court has said so.
Oh my god. Oh. But all along threatens Nesumi to accept the regular amount instead.
And it's like don't. And Arlong starts assuming the racist intentions in his words. It's like do you believe I'm stupid? It's like no, I've not. It's like do you have any hatred towards me, or do you think I'm inferior to you? It's like no, I don't have any problem with you at all. It's like oh, but your government certainly does. And they felt the need to enslave my people. Slavery's been abolished, but
your prejudice remains.
Yeah. Without spoiling too much of without spoiling too much of One Piece, the whole slavery was abolished thing, a fucking lie.
No.
It's like a fishman is one of the. It's like we're not racist. One of our warlords is a fishman, and then Arlong name drops Jinbei. And it's like Jinbei's a fool. I serve no man. Who's Jinbei? You might wonder. You have to wait a couple more 100 chapters. I'm sorry, but you probably already know if you've seen some of the art. But I'm not going to say more than that. If you're a new listener to the series, and then after that little scare. Arlong gets him to agree to a smaller cut, and then Nezumi just fucks off. And then Nami's like, oh yeah, well, what about our deal? What about it? It's like, I have the money. It's like, oh, you do now, don't you, Nami? 100 million? He's like, I'll go get it for you right now. I was like, you've been holding out on me, haven't you? It's like, no, now you ready to honor the agreement? I'm ready to pay you right now. I was like, yeah, absolutely, fine, sure. Don't mind that my webbed fingers are tied across behind my hand. In fact, they're webbed. How am I doing that? Anyway, I have an idea of how Nezumi can earn that extra money he desired.
Oh.
Well, now I'm wondering how the hell can a fishman cross their fingers behind their back? Because they can't. Can they?
They're webbed. So, back up, Baratier. Please tell me I pronounced that right.
I don't care at this point. We're not going to be here much longer. Just don't try and pronounce it wrong.
Kobe and Himepo decided to just have some drinks, and they start opening up a little bit. And Kobe starts wondering maybe the Straw Hats aren't really the villains.
Maybe are we the baddies?
Yeah.
What's that from? That sounds.
It's from. I think it's from a Simon Pegg and Nick Frost movie because it looks like I don't know. I'll have to look it up.
And that's when Kobe just lets loose that Gob is Luffy's grandfather and downs another fucking shot. I love that line, but I should have known they both love meat.
It's like that is a question I'm going to choose not to take out of context. By the way, to answer Christine's question, it's from a British sketch comedy show called That Mitchell and Webb Look, in which two men play Nazis and realize they're the bad people in World War II.
Okay. Well then.
Yeah, and yep. So he basically makes like Austen says Garp as Luffy's grandfather, and then downs a shot like right then. By the way, I've been holding on to this for a while, and I've actually been forgetting. And
yes,
Christine, love of my life.
What?
You and Helmeppo have something in common, and I don't know if you're ready to hear it.
Yeah, I know we have the same birthday. I know. Yeah.
I guess I didn't. I guess I told you already.
You've told me quite a few times.
Well, now I said it on content. But going back to the discussion of the episode, Garp and Zeph are having a much longer talk with one another, and Zeph basically tells me, like, a new generation is rising, and there's not much you can do to stop them. And Garp basically says, "The hell I can't." And Zeph reiterates, "Look, the last thing I want to do is put myself in the middle of a family dispute, so I don't want to get into your business." By the way, yes, I did see Luffy. He's really special, and he reminds me of someone else in our glory days. And then Garp really doesn't like that. He's alerting to how he's a lot like Gold Roger, and then Garp really doesn't like that. He's like, hey, look what happened to him. It's like executed, skewered by marine polearms. Yeah, well, that was kind of your doing.
Yeah, and that's Kobe and Himeko.
Helmeko? It's Helmepo.
Give me a break, John. I'm drunk and my cat's biting my toes.
Well,
the toy, not the toes.
Buddy's like, get the character's name wrong, will you? That deserves a bite of the toesies. And then and Kobe and Helmepo inform Garp that they have a lead on Luffy and crew. And then before they leave, Zeph reiterates what I think is also the major overarching theme of the series period. It's like, there's a new generation rising. Change is coming whether you like that or not. There's nothing you can do to stop that. And then we cut back to Nami Nojiko's house where Buggy's trying to freak out Usopp while he's setting up bombs for the assault on Arlong Park.
And yeah, Buggy's taunting Usopp, saying, and he doesn't think that he doesn't stand a chance against a bunch of army of fishmen.
Well, I mean, he's not entirely wrong.
Oh, and he says it's been a long time since he had some smoked fish. Oh, implications.
It's like, oh, is it, you guys have any extra food for me? I'm like, Buggy, how would you eat it? You are separated from your stomach right now.
She just stuffs his mouth with tangerines.
Just shut him up. New guy shuts up the clown head, he says. That bit's only going to be funny for a season and a half. The Sanji won't be the new guy for much longer. In fact, Sanji's still the new guy where we're recording. So then Nami goes to dig up the treasure that she promised to Arlong, and then Nojiko finds out that's the whole reason that she wants to go work for Arlong, because she only agreed to marry their navigator. She saves up enough money to buy back the village. Then, and then shortly after that, Nezumi comes in to claim the treasure, because that's what Arlong was up to. It's like Arlong wants Nami permanently in his employ, so he hires Nezumi to take the treasure from her, so that way they can take it back and then keep Nami around forever. Because like he loses his greatest asset as she buys back the village, and they attack, and then Nami runs off upset as they take her treasure.
Yeah, and let's see.
Meanwhile, Arlong is giving a rousing speech to the fishermen about how they rule the seas now, and or they will one day. Like today, it's Cocoa Village. Tomorrow, it'll be the East Blue. We will get revenge for our brothers and sisters that were enslaved by humanity, which is a thing that is happening in the world of One Piece, but it's not an excuse for what he's doing here, as we understand. Like it's like. Arlong is just is a radical. Like the rest of them don't think like he does. It's just Arlong is just your first exposure to them. Well, really, your first exposure to them in the Netflix show is the waiter and the Baratier.
Oh yeah.
And then we end off the episode with the scene that made me a fan of One Piece for the rest of my fucking life.
Oh god, they did this scene perfectly.
They did this perfect.
He does. Nami's at a breaking point. She's crying. She's looking at the Arlong pirate tattoo on her arm. And she just fucking stabs it.
Yep, stabs it repeatedly. Not as much as she does in the anime. She does it like once or twice here, because I imagine that probably really fucking hurts in real life. Even though they don't really show you do it. No, she does it 3 times. Then she stops, or rather someone stops her. Luffy stops her.
And that someone is Luffy.
And she says to Luffy, what are you doing here? You don't know anything that's going on. He's like, no, I don't. Which, that line no longer makes sense in this version of the story because he was listening to the story. In the manga, he fell asleep during the backstory, so that doesn't make sense anymore. But nitpick, doesn't matter. And then she finally begs Luffy for help. She turns to him and says, Luffy, help me. And then that's when he passes on the hat to her. In fact, I'll have us watch that scene real quick because that is such a powerful moment. Not just in the original, but also here. They do it pitch perfect, shot perfectly. It's just so perfectly well acted and written because it's lifted directly from the page. And then Luffy declares, of course I'll help you. And then he declares to the rest of the crew, we're gonna let's go to Arlong Park and take those fisherman bastards down.
And that's the end of the episode. Like, holy shit.
They ended that episode the best possible place they could have.
Like, Jesus.
Yep. So, and that was episode 7. So now we talk about the final episode, episode 8, The Worst in the East.
And this time I'm sober.
Yeah, I wanted to keep this as a bit of a... I didn't want to throw too much inside baseball on this, but we're recording this the day after we did those last 3.
I remember this scene being really sad, but they just give her the tattoo as a kid.
Yeah, I don't think they ever depicted her getting the tattoo in the manga. Like, she just eventually had it one day.
Oh, and it's that old-timey style where they just prick you with the needle.
Yeah, this had me scared because I intend to have a One Piece tattoo at some point. But this made me think, I think I'm willing to wait for a bit. And yeah, so the only reason they were able to do this scene is because there's a key difference in the One Piece Netflix show versus the original story. Because in this, the villagers don't know that Nami only did this to buy back the village and win their freedom. In the manga, they knew and they pretended not to.
Yeah, and this is a really sad scene as you see her just chained up and working so hard that her fingertips stop bleeding. Yeah, and I remember she told I think she tells Luffy later in the episode, she's like, oh yeah, for my birthday one year, he took the chains off. But they thought that would be a good birthday gift. Yeah.
And then we go back and Arlong has burned down Kokoyashi Village.
Dick move, Arlong. Real dick move. Yeah, and this is when the village... Oh.
Don't you have the summary up?
Oh, fuck me.
You're sober and you forgot.
Yeah, and this is when the villagers...
Yeah, so the villagers arrive again, and this time they've had enough, and they're gonna go fight Arlong themselves. And it's like, oh, we didn't know. Can you ever forgive us? I'm like, yep, okay. So that's where I knew that they changed this. Like, they didn't know that Nami was doing this to save them. It kind of messes with it a little bit for me, but it's not sacrilegious that they did it. It's just, kind of ruins the impact, honestly. But Nami warns that they'll be massacred if they try, because we all watched them try, and Genzo has the scars to prove that they tried and failed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was grisly. Oh, fuck! And
Nami pleads with them not to do it, but they go anyway. She's saying this is her fight, and then Luffy's like, "Nope, it's ours."
And it's just where they do start doing that march from the anime.
No, we actually don't even get that, which is upsetting. We get the final title drop where it's Arlong's name on the One Piece logo, and I love that the E is his sawtooth blade. But first, before they march to Arlong Park, we catch up with Garp, who is he's finally caught up with Luffy. He's at Konomi Islands because and he's
with Nasumi.
Yeah, he's finally scheduled a meeting with Vic Mausniana.
Oh, jeez. And still not as scummy as Vince McMahon.
Rick Lasagna. I'm not kidding. He was voiced by him in the Funimation dub.
I know. You told me last episode.
I want everybody else to know that I'm not just doing that just to make a dig at him as much as he deserves it. And then that's when Nozomi talks to Garp. And then Garp is fully aware of the corruption going on. And this is how you know this is a fictional story, because the government is stamping out corruption and government officials being bribed.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, we heard you've been, we've heard the fishmen have been buying you off. And it's like, but I thought in politics, buying people off was what we did. It's like, yeah, but you have to not get caught.
And he tries pinning the blame. Nasumi tries pinning the blame on Luffy and his crew.
Yep.
But Kobe doesn't buy it one bit. But Nasumi insists it's true because he outranks him.
But Garp's like, I'm a vice admiral now. If you're willing to stop with the pissing contest, you're gonna answer my questions.
Mm-hmm. And who is that guy with the fedora hat, by the way?
That's Bogard. That's Garp's right hand man. And yes, he was named. He was named after Humphrey Bogart from Old Hollywood. Wow. Yes, remember Oda is a big Hollywood fan. Now we finally get to the attack on Arlong Park, where smoke bombs have been placed everywhere. I'm guessing planted by Usopp. And then we get kind of a march to Arlong Park, where they just march right in.
Yeah, and Nami's actually with them this time.
Yeah, she doesn't do a terrible lot, but she's here.
Oh, this fight's so good.
Yeah, I remember in the manga so far yet, I haven't seen her fight much.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's going to change as the series progresses, or? Yes,
actually, we're coming up to her first one-on-ones, not too far from where you are now.
Oh, good.
This fight's so good, though.
Yeah, that choreography.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is where most of the budget to the show went. The fight choreography, like my God, like it's just. I know I'm singing the praises of this, but this is where this is also, I think, one of the finest scenes in the series. I will point out though that Hachi and Momu are missing, and that Hachi being missing is an unfortunate implication for the rest of the series, because Hachi becomes important later.
Oh,
yeah, and but also Momu, no giant sea cow.
Oh, and yeah, as Nami and Luffy get the map to the Grand Line back, like he's where Nami was kept for all her childhood.
Yeah, the other reason I miss Momu, again, playing a lot of Grand Battle Rush on the Arlong Park stage, you can jump on his head. Oh no! And then Arlong comes in after they arrive at the Arlong Park Pagoda, and he has the Sawtooth blade out early. The fight has to go on for a while for him to bring that out. But as their confrontation begins, Usopp begins his fight with Chu, and by fight with Chu, I mean run the fuck away from him in the dark forest.
Yeah, this is another one thing from the manga where he just tries hiding behind a hole in the wall and hoping he'll just shoot something. It's
really not that different. Usopp does run from Chu and just fends him off in the forest where no one's watching. Granted, that does spell to my big problem with this so far. Usopp hasn't done much, period. Like even against Kuro, he didn't really get a moment to shine, really. Like even against his arc villain, he didn't do much. And then when he finally does something, no one's around to witness it. And he even says this in the show.
Yeah. And we get a little banter between Sanji and Showa, which is great.
I felt like during this very scene is when this show truly felt like One Piece. It's like, yeah, we got the emotional moment, but then we got the badass fight in the pool of Arlong Park. And then Arlong gives his speech about why it's okay for him to be racist back.
Not all, but all not all humans. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
Well, honestly, Nizumi did the worst one. We're not racist. My best friend's a fishman.
Yeah, and Online keeps going on about how he's going to start like a new age of fishmen within the world.
Yeah, all because of the persecution of the fishmen, which, granted, does happen. I've mentioned that before, though. But
yeah, I wonder when we'll get to that in the manga.
You have some time to get to that. But Nami finally stands up to Arlong, saying, "You told Nizumi about my stash. You were never going to keep your promise." And it's like, "Oh, I promised that I'd let you go if you turned in the money, but you never did."
Mm-hmm. And I remember the manga says, "Now all you have to do is find another 100 million berries."
It's like, "Don't worry, I'll let you save it up again."
Yeah, and this,
and then Arlong takes a swing at Luffy with the sawtooth blade, but either he stops it to intimidate him or Luffy blocked it.
Yeah, like Arlong brags about how he was able to use Nami more efficiently than Luffy ever could, which really offends Luffy.
And then he snaps the sawtooth in half, telling her that Nami's not a tool to be used. Yeah, again, like they really condensed this whole bit with Arlong. If you remember, Austen, because we covered that not that long ago. Like they go back and forth for a while. Another thing I'm missing too, but even though it would probably be a bit too silly for the live action series. Remember when he took all of Arlong's spare teeth and put them in his mouth?
Oh yeah, I missed that part.
And then yeah, and then there was also also Arlong using his own teeth as castanets. Although we do get a callback to that, the fact that he can regrow his teeth instantly in this.
Oh yeah, when he knocks out his teeth and they immediately regrow.
Oh God.
Yeah, he just rips off a set of Arlong's teeth and uses them to bite him.
He's stupid, but I love it.
And I'm also going to save that image for the podcast, for the video podcast. If you're not watching the video, you're missing out on this. So then we cut back to Chu chasing Usopp through the woods.
They're spitting out booze like a barrage of bullets.
A slight tweak from what Chu can just spit water, period. But I do like that he's specifically doing it for alcohol. So that and basically implying that he can do that with any liquid, but he just chooses to do it with whiskey.
But oh yeah, Zoro is still a little weak from his wounds.
Yeah, another thing they also they managed to carry over that works because like if you remember in his fight with Hachi, he was struggling. One, because he doesn't have all his swords. Two, he was still not fully recovered. But instead of Zoro fighting Hachi and Sanji fighting Karubi, they're fighting the rest of the fishmen together. Oh yeah, and I completely forgot Buggy's still in a bag on Sanji's back, and they have Buggy's body
hanged up like a prize at one of the game booths.
Yeah, you have to play a game of Stinky Feet to win him.
Oh my god. And Buggy promises to help him if he gets his body back, but surprise, surprise.
For surprise,
he just gets the fuck out of there.
Not before giving them the finger and saying exit stage left, literally. Don't worry, maybe we'll see him again. We better see him again. Fucking clown. Like that delivery got me every time. Fucking clown. So yes, Usopp and Shu face off. And yeah, also pulled from the original story, Usopp fakes his death with ketchup. So as upset as I am that Usopp didn't get too many moments to shine, the fact that they got his first major fight pretty much down pat, I'm happy about.
Yeah, and while bullets don't work on a fishman's hide, Usopp instead gets out one of his exploding in little pellets.
And Chu taunts him saying, "Yeah, what? My skin's tougher than bullets." He's like, "Oh yeah, well you know it's not tougher than your skin." What you know what's tougher than your skin? A fireball. Oh yeah, well, how are you gonna do that? You've been drinking alcohol this entire time, which is flammable, idiot. And he hits him with a special attack exploding star and incinerates Chew.
Yeah, great.
Well, there he goes.
And while Usopp feels triumphant, he realizes
Oh my god,
that
look at him. He's just
no one's gonna believe his story.
Yeah. Usopp even says, like, yeah, the great Captain Usopp defeated a fishman. And nobody saw it.
look at him.
Them just holding on his charred body feels really. It's almost funnier than the original story where like he whacked him a couple hundred times with a hammer to make sure he was dead, and then Karubi comes in and challenges both Sanji and Zoro together, as opposed to when he fought Sanji alone.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that little pool.
God, this is so good.
Yeah, well, the pool played a much more prominent role in the original, where like Sanji and Karubi actually did fight underwater, and there is a great moment that gets missed where like Luffy's drowning in the ocean, and Sanji's trying to save him, and Karubi tries to hold him down and keep him from fighting him, but Sanji uses up whatever oxygen he's holding and blows into his gills and makes Karubi suffocate. So we don't get that, unfortunately, but we do get a nice fight between him and Zoro and Sanji.
And yeah, here's the scene you were talking about where Luffy punches his teeth out.
Yeah,
and
he
just regrow.
Yeah, they fall out and they grow again. I'm pretty sure sharks can actually do that.
They can.
But
That's why you find so many shark teeth on the beach. Or like
They're also immune to cancer.
Huh? They are?
Random factoid.
Yeah.
Neat.
That sounds like someone's been watching some more Casually Geographic, if not, you should be. He's hilarious and informative.
Casually Geographic. That sounds
Casually
awesome.
Geographic. It's this guy on TikTok who does really short videos about like fun facts by animals, and like his comedic timing and like the descriptions he uses for like the terrible things the animals can do to you are really fucking funny.
Oh, is it the
Fun.
guy who said that cats are basically invincible?
I don't know.
Or am I thinking of someone else? Like
it's this one guy who's like talking with like a headphone up to his face. You've probably seen him.
Cause there was this one guy I saw who was talking about how ridiculously overpowered cats are, particularly to fall damage and how they can control their bodies.
Yeah, and he also has hysterical descriptions for because TikTok has a strict guidelines on
Nice
use.
frame to pause on.
Yeah, these edibles ate shit. Arlong 20 minutes later. Because TikTok has strict guidelines on using the word death and kill, he has to come up with funny phrases that like activate your life insurance or something like that.
What?
When we're done reviewing this, I have to bring up some of his videos, especially the one where he talks, especially the ones where he has to talk about how dolphins are assholes.
Please do.
All right, so back to the fight. After Luffy knocks out Arlong's teeth, he regrows more, and then he actually starts landing hits on him. And then Arlong taunts him, saying, "He can't beat me, but it's like I can't beat you, but I can destroy everything you built."
Oh.
So then he starts destroying the pagoda from the inside out. He's intentionally missing and just hitting all the beams, and that actually bothers Arlong more than any punch ever could.
Yeah,
because I think he knows what he's doing.
What, Christine?
Went down like in the manga.
Because I think Arlong knows what Luffy's doing.
Yeah,
now he realizes it.
Specifically going after the beams.
Yeah, it wasn't smart of you to
My
go straight for Luffy while I was in front of the beams.
Yeah, this is basically what Luffy does, but he does it. Well, how he does it in a much bigger way in like a minute. So he's intentionally letting Arlong punch him to break all the support beams that have the pagoda crumble. And then meanwhile, back at the fight with Karubi and Sanji and Zoro,
Sanji takes his jacket off
because he insulted Nami, and Zoro's like, "Oh, now you done it." Mm-hmm. And then guess what? Sanji starts shouting some of his attack names from the manga, and they're
all French names.
They're French table terms.
Oh, wow!
And then he gets him with the mouton shot.
Amazing.
And then we get a call back to the line from the first episode where he's like, Mutan shot. And then Sanji's like, every fighter calls out their fight finishing moves. And Zoro, who originally was despised that, he went, yeah, you're going to fit in right here.
And of course, Usopp arrives late to the party.
Late to the party and claims that he followed their plan all along.
Yeah.
And that's when they notice that the Arlong Park pagoda is falling. Nami gets out. And Sanji opens up for a hug, but Nami hugs the other two instead.
Yeah. Oh, love that bit.
Yeah, the little tiny character moments are the best parts so far. Mm-hmm. Like you have to get to me the small stuff is really important because a bunch of small things add up to one big thing. And then Luffy unleashes the Gatling, which I don't think we've seen him do yet.
That's so cool.
No, not even in the manga?
No, not well. He did it on the Syrup Village arc. That was the first time I saw him do it, but we haven't seen him do it in the that live action show yet.
And is he gonna do that finisher?
Yeah. Why don't you wait and see?
I forgot the name of it, but I know how it goes.
I know what move he uses. So Arlong charges him one more time, and then Luffy lifts his leg into the air, breaking it through the roof, and then slams his foot down onto Arlong. The Gum battle axe hitting Arlong and then just sending him 15 floors down, knocking his ass into the pavement.
Oh, in the manga, didn't he twist his arms and grab Arlong's head between his feet?
He probably did that at one point, but the battle axe is how he finishes him off.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of a different move. Then.
You know what you're actually thinking of? Arlong did the shark and awe attack where he spins like a drill and he went towards Luffy. That's what you're probably thinking of.
Excuse me, shark and awe.
Yes.
Instead of shock and awe, that's funny.
Oh, Gum Whip, that's what it was called. Shit.
Well, Gum Whip is where he kicks his leg out like a whip.
Oh, no. Okay, what the hell was that move?
I know.
It's where he twists his arms.
I know what you're talking.
His legs.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Oh, he did the pinwheel, and that's where he got his legs stuck on the ground. Yeah, he spun Arlong around, but that's why he got stuck, and Arlong threw him in the water. Which, as much as upset as I am about some of the cuts in this, I'm glad they cut out the whole entire gag of Luffy being caught in something. Luffy getting caught in shit and then trying to get him out for 500 chapters or whatever is always boring. Funny for the first time it happens, but it gets old. And then Luffy emerges from the rubble of the Arlong Park and does the iconic Nami, you are my friend. Not Nakama, weebs. You're my friend. Yeah, I'm extra salty that the Netflix social media is doing the whole Nakama thing. I fucking hate it. Stop it. No. No Netflix. Bad.
Really? Is that supposed to be the spray bottle?
Yep. So then after that, the villagers of Kokoyashi
celebrating.
Yep. Sanji made them all food. They're pouring booze. They're celebrating. Mm-hmm. As is per tradition in every big battle arc in One Piece. A big feast afterwards. And holy crap, that big dish that Sanji's cooking everything on. But hey, you got to feed the entire town.
Yeah, it's massive bowl. And Usopp is also given some exaggerated.
He's offering tales. He's recapping in his eyes how the fight went down. Mm-hmm. And then Zoro goes up to Sanji and asks for a second. It's like, oh, you liked my cooking. It's not that bad, but give me more. Yep. Usopp is. We already mentioned Usopp's doing his little exaggerated stories. But then, here's where we really deviate again. Mm-hmm. Garp has arrived. He's finally caught up with Luffy and crew. And then Garp calls for the Marines to arrest the Straw Hat Pirates. And Kobe directly disobeys the order. He's like, nope, I'm not following those orders. I know he didn't destroy the village. That was Arlong. Go after Arlong and arrest them instead.
Yeah, Obi finally grows a pair.
Yeah, he stands up to his direct commanding officer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really got his backbone compared to his debut in the first episode.
And also, shockingly, Helmeppo backs him on it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else like to follow their lead? and then they surround the Straw Hats. But then Garp confronts Luffy personally.
Yeah, and this is where we get the fight between grandfather and grandson.
Yep, which I'll point out has never happened yet. There has never been a one-on-one fight between Garp and Luffy, so this has been interesting to watch. And just like Yakuza, he took the jacket off. It means it's serious. Although I don't know if we want to see Vincent Regan's titties.
Oh God.
Yeah, and he basically and then Garp, speaking of Yakuza, he tiger drops Luffy into a house.
Is that what that was?
He didn't do it to the stomach, but it looked like the tiger drop. God, that's like my favorite move to use in Yakuza. Someone comes after you, tiger drop, they fall down.
Damn, and I could have sworn I saw that move in Pirate Warriors 4, but I can't for the life of me remember what it's called.
There's a move that's like it, used by a character you haven't met yet.
Ah.
And he does it without actually punching. And he uses both arms to do it. I think I know exactly who you're talking about. And then the fight just goes on as Luffy just refuses to stay down. He's not going to let his grandpa push him around anymore.
Mm-mm.
And then Luffy pulls out the Gum Gum Bazooka to try and hit Garp with it. But Garp is wise to his ways, grabs him and throws him to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and let's see. Well, that's for a little bit.
He didn't do the bazooka. I'm sorry. It was the rocket.
Oh yeah, the rocket.
And then
no,
he basically clotheslines him in the face. And then
Garp insists that the world is too dangerous for him to be a pirate, and it's especially in the Grand Line and he says Luffy's not ready because he sees it as a child's game.
Yeah, he still views this 17-year-old boy as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the eyes of the law, he still is, but like he's clearly independent now. And then Luffy once again declares, I'm going to find the One Piece and I'm going to become king of the pirates.
And he even has a foolhardy laugh, which reminds Garp of what happened when Gold Roger himself revealed that he left his treasure in one piece right before he was executed. Yeah,
characters seeing Roger and Luffy is a predominant occurrence in this series. And then that sends Garp into a laughing fit of his own.
Yeah. Really,
and meanwhile, the Marines and the other Straw Hats don't know what to do about that. They're like, what just happened? And Garp decides, you know what? Have it your way, Burger King. I'll let you go.
Number 15.
Burger King.
Yeah, and Garp insists that they have to go find Arlong now, so there's no reason to be on the island.
Other than to find Arlong. Yeah, and put him in prison because... Yeah, that lines up. I'm pretty sure Arlong's still in prison as of now. And then Zumi's like, wait, you're not going to... But then Nami hits him over the back of the head. Good.
That's the closest thing you're going to seeing to her fighting, I guess, at the moment.
No, she fought in the Shelltown scene, and she'll get her moment to shine.
Yeah.
If season 2 adapts the way I think it's going to, she'll get her moment to shine. Mm-hmm. She'll have her one-on-one one day yet. And that's when Garp turns to him and says, you know, it's like I just wanted you to know. I just really wanted you to know that the ocean was as dangerous as it is, and he's like, I was testing you to make sure that you knew.
Yeah, I hope I not spoiled it by asking, but is that a thing in the manga, or did they? What,
that Luffy and Garp meeting like this?
No, Luffy, that he was just testing him the whole time.
It's been a while since I've seen the scene where Garp actually meets Luffy in the current timeline, so I don't I couldn't tell you for sure. Well, the next time, Austin, I'm going to see that scene will be with you, so I'll tell you then. Or you and I will find out together.
Oh shit, I forgot about this part where Nami visits Belmer's grave.
Yep. Well, I mean, I didn't.
Oh yeah, that was from the manga as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, she did meet. She did go back to Belmer's grave, and I guess she poured whiskey over it or something. Or no, I think Genzo does that. And then she finally decides she found a place where she belonged, and apologized that she didn't understand all the sacrifices that she made for her and Nojiko.
That composition.
Yeah, I should have. I don't know if I pointed this out yet, but the whole thing about the pinwheel, that's pretty important because that's part of what Nami brands herself with from now on. She has a pinwheel tattoo with a tangerine. Oh,
I thought that was like a berry tattoo.
It kind of looks like that too, so that's probably it. It's like a pinwheel dollar sign with a tangerine. So the Netflix show doesn't go into it, but the reason why pinwheels are significant is because when Nami was a baby and Belmer first introduced her to Genzo, she was terrified of Genzo because Genzo is a scary looking man, and she would always cry whenever she was in front of Genzo. But Genzo had thought quickly of how to make her smile, so he picked up a pinwheel and put it in his hat, and that made her start laughing. Austin, you remember this? We just covered that.
Oh yeah.
But they kind of changed it in this one for time, where it's like they make pinwheels out of the tangerine. So sure, it's better than removing it entirely.
Yeah.
And then yes, Nojiko finally talks to Nami, and they make amends. And then she tells her that she's going to set out to sea with them.
To fulfill a dream about making a map of the world.
It's just a shame, though, that we don't get the scene from the manga when she leaves Kokoyashi Village. She runs through town, jumps onto the ship, and then she reveals that she's robbed everyone before she left.
Oh my!
Wait, what?
Yeah, she robbed literally everybody.
Oh, great!
But I think she left the treasure that Arlong took in its place. Like she robbed them of their petty cash, but left them the treasure that she saved up for Arlong.
Mm.
And yeah, there's the pinwheel.
So yeah, she didn't rob them blind. She just took some of their money. And speaking of tangerines, Luffy's munching on one right now.
Of course he is.
It wouldn't be Luffy, wasn't munching on something.
Oh yeah. This is when Kobe delivers the news that Misumi wasn't too keen on
he being hit in the head.
Yeah. So that's where he delivers the news that Luffy's now a wanted pirate.
He has a bounty of 30 million, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And while Kobe
and Luffy went freaking crazy.
And while Kobe views it as bad news, Luffy is ecstatic because that means he's well known again now.
Wow. Really takes me back to when Luffy's bounty was so small.
And here he goes. He's going crazy.
He is ecstatic that he's a wanted man. And I love that they basically imitated the picture from the manga, where it's
Usopp in the background with his head facing away.
Yeah, and that's how Kaya and everybody back home recognizes him. Interesting that they didn't have like his eyes closed like he does in the manga, but yeah, but it's pose for pose. It doesn't matter. The only other thing that does kind of miff me a little bit is you know how every character like interacted with their wanted poster and like ripped it in some way? Luffy doesn't do that.
Oh, we didn't get that with Luffy.
No, but maybe you know what? Maybe that's how they'll open season 2.
Oh, I hope. Like he does punches through it with a gum pistol. Or
like he does better. He does the Gatling and punches more than one hole in it.
Oh.
Well, I got a better idea. When they finally announce that season 2 is coming, he should punch holes in the shape of a 2.
Nice.
And then that's when Luffy and Kobe finally say goodbye to each other, which is strange because I distinctly remember them saying goodbye to each other a long time ago. I love him posing with like the wanted poster like it's a mirror. It just makes me think, it's like, that's a picture of him. Someone had to tell him to smile for the camera.
Yeah, and Usopp insists that he's famous now because he's in the pack.
Yeah, and there's like, oh, you guys are just jealous. You don't have your own bounties yet. All in good time, everyone. All in good time. and then,
so insists that it's not good news because now that he has a bounty on him, people are gonna hunt him.
But Luffy's like, well, then it's a good thing we're not staying in the East Blue. Then we're going to the Grand Line right now.
Yeah. And this is when we get. I love this montage where everyone they interacted with in the season learns about Luffy's bounty.
And I just noticed that the news coup collected payment for the paper and put it in his little wallet. Did you see that?
Oh, I missed it.
She paid him. Look as soon as the scene starts.
Okay, it's done. And
yep, he has a coin. He has a coin purse for taking payment.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's a legitimate news business. Why not? I still remember back when I lived in New Jersey, where my parents would give me like a quarter and it's like, "Hey, go pick up the Philadelphia Inquirer from outside the church."
The church is now Royal Farms.
Yep. Oh, and then we can see Kaya's house again. And look, she's not looking as sick anymore because she's not drinking that Baja Blast anymore.
Yeah. And she recognizes Usopp.
Yep.
Aww.
That's sweet. And then we cut to the Baratier where Zeph puts up the the wanted poster on the menu cork board. Yes. And I noticed some little Easter eggs on this cork board.
Oh? What's that?
Where is it? It's Alabasta is on one of those business cards.
Oh.
Which one?
I'm pointing at it
Your
with my mouse.
favorite chapter in that RPG game.
I don't see you pointing at it. I'm sorry.
You didn't see my mouse? Okay, well,
no, I didn't.
Okay, we'll look directly to the right of the wanted poster. It's the business card directly to the right of it. The brown business card.
I see it.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, I see it. Awesome.
And then guess who else is also not happy about the wanted poster?
Especially since it was posted over his wanted poster.
Yeah, he might be worth more than him now, I think.
Yeah, and he definitely wants revenge, and...
You know who else wants revenge?
Yeah, Familiar Face also offers suggested team-ups.
I wonder if anything will come... I wonder if that team-up will ever come to pass.
Yeah, I'm wondering how it's gonna work. If she's gonna have the Slim Slim fruit as well, or what?
What are you talking about?
Didn't she eat like a devil's fruit?
Yeah, but why are you spoiling that for the live action only audience?
Fuck me! Shit!
I've been real good about not spoiling shit for everybody else.
Sorry, everyone else.
That conversation didn't happen. Garp then notices the wanted poster and then proclaims to Kobe and Helmeppo that he's going to personally train him, and that basically leads that's kind of a sort of an adaptation of the cover stories where he does train him himself. It's too bad we won't get to see them like beating each other with kendo sticks in the middle of the night while these tiny little bird chicks watch.
I just remember that.
We just recorded that episode like last week. And then they agree to be trained.
Yeah, of course. And let's see, and then after that is when this scene where Mihawk
informs Shanks and his crew of Luffy's rise to fame.
Yeah, and all while he's hungover.
Yeah, I mean, when it's the Red Hair Pirates. When are they never hungover?
True. Good point. That.
I'm trying to see in like the crew if I recognize anybody else other than Lucky Roo, Ben Beckman. I remember someone pointed out Lime Juice was in there. I'm like, Lime Juice? I don't ever remember seeing Lime Juice till like later. But I guess they grandfathered him in. I don't even see Rockstar. But Yasop's there, of course.
And yeah, this is where he tells him the news about the wanted poster.
And then he's proud as shit. And then he's like, "Oh, let's go drinking again." And Miyawki's like, "But you're drunk already." Yeah, we'll get a second hangover. It's like, and it's like the two hobbits from the Lord of the Rings. It's like, but you've already had a hangover. Yes, but what about second hangover?
That's good.
Yeah, even joins you for a drink.
Yeah, a party between the two of the hardest characters to unlock in Grand Battle. Hooray! No, really, you have to be super hard mode to get unlock Shanks and Mihawk. And then back on this Going Merry, Luffy and crew got Nami a little present, a tangerine grove in the back of the ship.
Aw, that's a nice gesture.
And now she's wearing her manga clothes again, or I think this is her first time she's wearing her manga clothes. Period. Because, I mean, granted, she's been wearing outfits from the series, but like this is when we got her white shirt and orange skirt, and then that's when Nami's like, "Oh, we got you a present too."
Oh,
and
unfurl the sails.
When they unfurl the sails too.
Usopp drew an actually good version of the straw hat insignia. And Luffy, like a kid in a candy store who just saw his the tree, Luffy, like a kid who saw the tree on Christmas morning, goes ballistic.
You know, when I first saw this, I was like so I was so happy for him.
Yeah, and Naki Godoy is a treasure of his own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's even sitting on the Going Merry.
It's his spot.
Mm-hmm. And
then and then before we end off this little season, Nami points out that the entrance to the Grand Line doesn't make sense on the map. It looks like a river canal that goes into a mountain and over it, almost like a mountain in reverse.
Oh. Implication.
Oh yeah, they skipped Logtown apparently. Apparently the Arlong Park is how they end. Well, they don't skip everything from Logtown. They had our final scene in the series so far anyway is the cast off ceremony where they put their feet on the barrel and they declare their dreams. And maybe we'll just go through it. I forgot who went in what order. I think Luffy obviously was last. Sanji is going to find the all blue. I do like them overlaying their backstories over them saying it in the present time. Oh no, Luffy isn't last. He's going to be king of the pirates.
Second. Zoro is, of course, going to be the world's greatest swordsman.
And never lose until he does. Nami is going to draw a map of the world. And Usopp has to think about his for a minute.
Yeah, particularly what his ambition is.
Which, Austen, you're in the arc where he fully embraces what he wants to be. He's going to become a brave warrior of the sea.
No!
And then we get... And it doth my ears deceive me? I'll turn it up for us, but then after they declare their dreams...
Are they playing it again?
Yes.
Oh, yes, they are.
An orchestral version of We Are starts playing.
Hell of a note to go out on.
It's an orchestral version of We Are, but then it goes into the Netflix theme. And that is season 1, episode 8, and season 1 period of One Piece.
Nah.
Actually,
what?
No.
No.
Something else.
We got one more thing.
There's a lot of smoke.
We all got one more thing.
Just like Nintendo Direct. Oh, but there's just one last thing. Who is that looking at Luffy's wanted poster and putting it out with a cigar?
And why does he need 2 cigars?
Man, yeah, it's like you could almost say that guy is a smoker. And that was One Piece. Netflix. Season 1.
They finally broke the curse.
All right, let's go around the table. What did everyone generally think? Christine, you're going first.
Thanks. About what?
General thoughts
episode
about
or the season?
Well, at this point, we're done. So, general thoughts about the series, period.
Holy crap. No, for real. That's like, it was really good.
You broke the anime adaptation curse.
Hooray!
Just holy crap, that's all you got?
Yeah.
All right, Austen, you're last. Or next, sorry.
Okay, I'm
sorry, it was really good. I don't have anything else to say. Sorry. Go on.
Like a lot of people, I had a lot of reservations when they announced they were doing a live-action One Piece from Netflix. Especially considering Netflix's past record, or hell, even Hollywood in general, in the past record of live-action anime adaptations.
Yeah, Netflix last year, or was it last year or the year before, made a fucking terrible adaptation of what is considered one of the greatest series ever made.
Cowboy Bebop that only lasted for 1 season.
Yeah, and right after they had a tease for like the best character that they cut for some reason. And I don't think the curse is entirely broken because they have another anime adaptation coming in a few months, and it's not by Tomorrow Studios.
Oh,
and it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites. I'm so scared.
Oh,
what is it?
Right.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're doing a live action Yu Yu Hakusho. It's coming out December 16th.
Oh.
And they announced it so close to the release date, which really speaks volume.
Well, we've actually known that they've been making it for years, but like we kind of like put it. No, they didn't announce it existing. Like they just re-announced it after the hype behind One Piece. I'm like, yeah, but Matt Owens and Steven Maeda aren't making this, so I going back to reservations. Like, yeah, Netflix is also home to the live-action Fullmetal Alchemist movies that Japan made, and they're fucking terrible.
And also,
Japan can't get live-action adaptations right.
And also, fun fact: the person who plays Scar is Zoro.
Yeah. Actually, McKenyu, the guy who plays Zoro in the live-action One Piece, he's in a lot of live-action anime adaptations.
Oh, wow.
Just this year, he was in the live-action adaptation of Saint Seiya. As Saint Seiya.
Huh.
And Saint Seiya, in America, was called Knights of the Zodiac.
Mind if I finish my thoughts?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, but then I heard how extensively involved Oda was to approving the scripts, the cinematography, and the casting, and I saw how passionate the crew and the cast were about the source material. I thought, okay, this might not be a completely offer. There's still a chance. And once I started watching it, holy shit, this is awesome! Like they actually did it. Like. Of course, when adapting an entire saga into like 8 episodes, they of course gotta make sacrifices and condense a lot, but surprisingly not, they still kept in a lot of the important stuff, and more importantly, the heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And did you know that was actually like 45 episodes condensed into like 8?
Let me put this into another perspective for you. 95 and a half chapters condensed into 8 episodes.
Really?
Yeah, the Rogue Town arc is the last 5 chapters before they get to 100. So since the only thing they have from Rogue Town is the cast-off ceremony with like the barrels, so I'm going to consider that a half because that was like a couple of pages if Austen remembers. 95 and a half chapters condensed into 8 one-hour episodes. I didn't think it could be done. And personally, I don't think it was done perfectly. But God, given the expectations behind this and what's come before it, you honestly, I mean, you could do better, but like you could certainly do worse. Like this is probably the best case scenario you can come up with while with taking creative liberties while also honoring the wishes and legacy of not just the fans but Oda himself. I honestly think this is the best case scenario we've gotten, and I am looking forward so much to how season 2 is going to fare out because Oda has confirmed new crewmate next season, and y'all know who that is. If you, actually, well, if you're Opla only, you don't know who that is. But Oda has said they need a doctor.
My boy.
To quote Van Halen, "Somebody get me a doctor."
Wow.
And I think Christina is really excited because she keeps going, "My boy."
Well, my boy is probably gonna be like season 5 or 6. Depending on how they do this. Like Charles, who was our guest on the first episode, had like predictions of how the seasons would go. I said, I don't think they'd smush them that much. Like I think One Piece live action to fully adapt the manga, you might need like 15 seasons at least. Because remember, the manga's not over yet. It's in the final saga now. It's not on the final arc. It's on the final saga. And the recent saga that just finished started when I was in college.
Excuse you?
Oh my god!
Yeah, the Four Emperor saga that started when I was in college.
Wow!
Holy shit!
That was a while ago.
Yeah, for context, I graduated in 2015. But anyway, the casting, it's perfect. No surprise, Oda handpicked these people just like he handpicked the Funimation actors for the dub. And I had my apprehensions just like Austen did. It's like, it's Netflix, it's Hollywood, it's live action, it's Netflix. When they're penchant for canceling things if they don't even meet a modicum of their crazy expectations. Inside job, I haven't forgotten. But
I don't think the world's forgotten either.
Nope. Bring my girl Reagan to justice. But my face started turning around. Like even from the first trailer, I wasn't convinced. I was convinced when Oda put out that little message on Twitter earlier this summer, where he said, I sat down with the Netflix and the crew, and we had a tentative agreement to meet 2023 as our expectations, but now we've made a new agreement. This is not coming out until I am 100% satisfied. Word for word, what he said.
Wow.
So that's when I said, okay, this could go one of two ways. They're overcomplicating it, and he's being nitpicky and will lead to production hell like some of the Pixar films did, where there's like creative differences and everything. Or the scenario we got, where we didn't get a perfect adaptation, because honestly, I don't think that's possible given the scope, how much this production costs, and everything. But I think what we got is truly something special, and I'm so glad. And this is something I can introduce to my family, like family that are not into anime at all. Like I suggested this to my brother who does not like anime, and he's interested. I said, dude, like you like Pirates of the Caribbean, like adventure style movies, stuff, right? You might like this. And he said, okay, I'll consider it. I'll report back next time if he likes it or not.
Oh yeah, I can imagine myself showing this to my dad because he watches a lot of stuff on Netflix, and
your dad likes True Blood. I think he'll be fine.
Oh god.
Christine, maybe show this to your parents, see if they like it.
My mom and dad already said they did. My mom has already said she has no interest in watching it.
Oh,
Aww.
not even an attempt, man. That's a shame. My grandmother loves it. Well, like I said before we started recording, my grandmom has watched a ton of One Piece with me. She's for those of you that are familiar with the series, she's on the Davy Vac fight arc now because we've been watching for quite some time. Because I take a little time out of my whenever I'm possible to watch up like a bunch of it, and that's how far she's gotten. Because like it's been a project every time I see her. So that's about all I can say about season 1. I am hopeful that the SAG-AFTRA strike will end. Hopefully, by the time you guys are hearing this, it is over. The WGA strike is finished, and
Hooray.
the other thing I'm hopeful for, please everybody listening and with the power to make it happen, cast Jamie Lee Curtis as Dr. Kureha. That woman is not only a very talented actress, she loves One Piece. She watches One Piece with her daughter, and just like Christine, her favorite Straw Hat is Tony Chopper. That's the perfect role for her too, because of who Dr. Kureha is.
Mm-hmm.
So, honestly, does anybody else have anything else they want to say before we end this episode off and this little series off?
I'm good.
So that's going to do it for Binging the Devil's Fruit Gaiden. We'll be back when season 2 eventually gets finished and released, or if we decide to review something else One Piece related that's not the manga or the movies.
Yeah, I was just about to say, we also got the manga and the specials and movies to tie you over for your One Piece fix.
Yeah, so if you guys are here because of the live action discussions, I implore you to check out the main show where I cover the One Piece manga with Austen every 2 weeks. About 5 or 6 chapters, sometimes 7 if we're feeling crazy. And also in between, we reviewed the movies and specials. We reviewed Defeat the Pirate Ganzak. We reviewed movies 1 and 2. One of those we had our dear friend Luffy with us for. And also we reviewed special TV special 1 with Rudy. And we intend to do the other movies around where they released when the manga was going out. So, Christine, maybe you can come back from a review Chopper and the Island of Strange Animals.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know another movie I want to be back for.
Oh, what's that?
Is it Red?
Yes.
I have big plans for Red when we get there, but that's not going to be till like episode 220 of Binge and Devil's Fruit. No, really, I have this whole podcast road mapped out. Let me just double check my math on that.
Jesus Christ, what is all this?
I was close. Wow, 238.
Wow.
All right. So thank you guys again so much for listening or watching if you're watching this on YouTube. Be sure to check out the main show if you want to see us cover the story beyond this while you're waiting for the Netflix show. Start at episode... If you want to jump right off where One Piece Netflix left off, join us for Binging the Devil's Fruit episode 21. Where we cover 96 through 100 and then go from there. And also don't forget to check out Super Bonus Round, the channel that hosts this. We're doing a bunch of Let's Plays at the moment. It is probably close to Thanksgiving when you're hearing this, so we're still going through some spooky bone stuff like Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 1 Chris with Rich, and Doki Doki Literature Club. And also, the Like a Dragon Marathon will come back once we get our hands on Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, and when they put out the English dub in the post-patch that they're doing. God, I'm still mad about that. Yeah, and Austen, don't forget, you also have a podcast that you're on that's not on our channel. What podcast is that?
Oh, yeah. The fuck is that? The F was that? A podcast I'm a co-host with Rudy, who we featured on the podcast on here as well. We review weird and obscure films and shows. They could be good, they could be bad. We review them as long as they make us ask one sentence. The fuck was that?
And they're mostly bad. And I was actually on the Christmas tree episode.
Oh, yes. Well, I watched that with you. The actual movie. It was freaking hysterical.
In the wrong ways.
Uh-huh.
All right, so that's going to do it for Binging the Devil's Fruit Guide until One Piece Season 2 releases on Netflix in 2025, I'm guessing, because everything is being delayed till then because of the SAG-AFTRA strike, because the studios won't pay.
Everything's ground to a halt for right now.
Because the CEOs won't pay their actors fairly. Never forget that, no matter what they say. But until then...
But instead, they jack up the prices, but...
Jacking it up.
So until then, I'm John Mugiwara JM.
I'm Jad Peanut.
I'm Katrina Yoko 55.
Oh, I almost forgot. You can hear more of Christina on Super Bonus Round. We did a playthrough of AI the Somnium Files together. We've also done a couple of other older playthroughs like Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh boy.
Maybe one day we'll restart The World Ends With You one that we deleted. What other? You're also on Yakuza Dead Souls, like the ass end of Yakuza 4. And also you're in a couple of Deadly Premonitions.
Yep.
But hopefully, and maybe you'll hear her in Sonic Superstars and Mario Wonder one day. I wonder if that will actually happen. Because they don't have fucking online. All right, that's peace, y'all. We'll see you guys wherever we see you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for binging the Devil's Fruit with us today. If you'd like to enhance your binging experience even further, for just $3 a month, not only do you get access to episodes 1 week before they go live for the public, you also get exclusive access to our commentary tracks for our One Piece anime movie special reviews on our Patreon. The review episodes themselves will always be free to all listeners, but if you want the commentary tracks, that's patreon.com/superbonusround. Thanks for your support.